Hello everybody. Today we are going to look into the introductory lecture on data structures through C++. So in this lecture we are going to cover the following topics: introduction to programming language paradigms, overview of procedure-oriented programming, object-oriented programming, their features, advantages, limitations, comparison between procedure-oriented programming and object-oriented programming. First of all, introduction to programming language paradigms. So a paradigm is nothing but a model which is used to write the program. So here a programming language paradigm is a style of designing and writing the programs. So here it defines how the problems are solved using a programming language. These paradigms influence programming structure, data handling and control flow. Programming structure means the way we write the program, or the structure we do follow to write the program. Data handling, how the data is handled to secure it, and the flow between various modules of the program, which is called as the control flow. So different paradigms are existing in real. So here procedure oriented programming and object oriented programming are there. Procedure oriented programming and object oriented programming. Now we'll look into the overview of procedure-oriented programming. So procedure-oriented programming mainly focuses on procedures or functions. That means we'll be writing procedures or functions, or we call them as methods, to perform a specific task. And of course you can look at the picture here. So there is a main program to solve a particular problem. This main program is further divided into sub-programs, or which are called as sub-functions. So function 1, function 2 and function 3. So these are going to perform individual tasks. Per function 1 performs task 1, function 2 performs task 2, function 3 performs task 3, and so on. And further, function 1 is further divided into function 4, function 4 is further divided into function 6 and 7. In the same way, function 2 is further divided into function 4, and function 2 is divided into function 5. And next, function 3 is divided into function 5, function 5 is further divided into function 7 and function 8. That means main task is divided into 3 subtasks, where each subtask is further divided into sub-subtasks and so on. So the programs are divided into small reusable functions. Each function is a small function which performs a specific task or specific subtask, and these are the reusable functions. And here the execution follows top-down approach, and the data is shared among the various functions which are divided here, and it is suitable for small to medium-sized programs. So the same picture with the real-time example, you can see the main program is written for online shopping application. So in the online shopping application, we are going to divide it into 3 subtasks, so which is written in function 1. So browse products, add to the cart and checkout. So these are the 3 subtasks, so which need to be considered under the main program online shopping application. And further, function 1, which is browse products, is dependent on search databases. So we are going to take another function, function 4, and searching database requires another 2 sub-functions, so filtering the items and applying discounts. In the same way, adding to the cart depends on the items in the database. So we are going to search in the database. Again, searching database means again filtering the items and applying discounts. And coming to adding to data cart, second subtask is calculating the total. So calculating the total depends on the discounts that are available here. And function 8, so processing the payment. So coming to the checkout process depends on calculating the total. Further, calculating total depends on applying discounts and processing the payment. So this way the procedure oriented programming works. So this is the best example. Next, features, advantages and limitations of procedure oriented programming. So that the program is organized into functions or procedures. Sometimes we call them as methods. So it uses the top-down approach. The emphasis is mainly on step-by-step execution of the code. Data and functions are treated as separate entities. There is no relation between data and functions. And functions are going to operate on the shared data. So coming to the advantages, So it is simple and easy to write a program in procedure-oriented programming. So clear program flow and logic will be there, faster execution and efficient memory utilization, easy for debugging small programs, and is best suited for small and medium applications. Limitations are, since data is shared among various functions, there will be low data security because the data is accessed globally and is difficult to manage large and complex problems. Limited code reusability is there, and changes in the data affect many functions because the data is shared across various functions. Next one. So overview of object-oriented programming. So object-oriented programming is based on objects and classes. So we'll be considering class and objects concept here. So a class combines data and methods, which are also called as functions, into a single unit, and it follows the bottom-up approach, and it supports data hiding and security. It is best suited for large and complex problems. So you can see here the example. So class is a person, and for every person there will be unique ID, name, age, city and gender. These are the features or the characteristics we are considering. So these are called as the data members, and there are methods: eat, study, sleep and play. So you can see here person is general, and in the class person you can have many number of persons with different values in their features. So you can see the features are unique ID, name, age, city and gender. You can see this example. This is one object under the class person. He is considered as a person. So name John, age 35, city Delhi and gender male. Coming to another object whose features are different, same features but with different values. Name Desi, age 20, city Pune, gender female. You have two objects. Like this you will be having several number of objects under one class with the same features and different values, and the methods they are going to perform the same: eat, study, sleep and play. So object 1, object 2, object 3. So there is a communication. You can see the objects like this. Every object is having data and member functions. Object 1 data and member functions, object 2 data and member functions, object 3 data and member functions. So basic concepts. So based on the above example, so we'll have the clear definition. A class is nothing but blueprint or template of creating objects. Object is nothing but real world instance of a class. You can see this example here. So person is a class, and the instance of the class is this object and this subject and some other objects. You can have any number of objects under that class. So encapsulation, so binding the data and methods together. Encapsulation is nothing but binding the data and methods together such that there will be data hiding and data security. Inheritance, acquiring the properties of an existing class. The existing class properties will be inherited by another class. Polymorphism, one interface, many implementations. Polymorphism is nothing but existing in many forms. You will be having only one interface, but you can have many implementations. So these are the basic concepts, basic or fundamental concepts of object-oriented programming. And then abstraction is also there. Next, basic concepts of OOPs with real-time examples. So class, real-time example, a car. Car is a general class under which you can have in many brands of cars. You can see. So class is like a blueprint that defines properties and behavior of a car. So that is general. And having Honda City car, Toyota car, Tata and so on. You're having several objects under the class car. That means their brand varies, their engine capacity varies, their color varies and so on. So each car is considered as one object under the class car. Next, encapsulation. So the real life example is ATM card. You are having an ATM card, but you don't know how it operates internally. When you keep the ATM card, what happens internally, we don't know, but we don't bother also, because we are inserting the card. It is guiding us to use the card. The internal operations are not known to us. So the data is hidden and accessed safely. Coming to the inheritance, so the real life example is child inheriting the traits of parents. So parents' features will be inherited by the children. So that is the best example. That means it is considered as reuse of the features. The same features may exist for the children. Polymorphism. So example, animals making sound. So an animal is general, making sound. Every animal makes a different sound, but the common operation is making sound. So making sound is the common activity, but different sounds. From the activity making sounds, you are getting different sounds. Dog give one sound, cat give one sound, and cow says another sound. So this is the best example of polymorphism. So basic concepts of OOPS with real life examples. So animal is a class. Under the animal class you have objects of animal class. Different animals are existing under the animal because animal is a general name, and you are having various objects. Each type of animal is one object under the class animal. So giraffe, deer, dog, elephant, lion, and so on. Another example, car class. So under the car class you are having Ford make car, Toyota make car, and Volkswagen make car. And then another example, vehicle is a general class. Under vehicle you can have any type of vehicle. It may be a car, it may be a cycle, it may be a bicycle, it may be a truck, and so on. All are considered as vehicles. So each type of vehicle is one object under the class vehicle. Next, advantages of OOPS, object oriented programming. So its importance, it is flexible. So it's flexible because binding is there, data binding is there, data and functions binding is there, and extensibility and modularity. So separation of classes, and through modularity you are achieving encapsulation also, and then reusability. So reusability, inheritance, and polymorphism are achieved. Next, maintainability, scalability, and debugging is there, and then abstraction. So representation and modeling. So limitations of object-oriented programming, it requires more memory since you need to divide the concepts into classes. Slower execution when compared to procedure-oriented programming since it requires more memory. Complex design and planning is needed, and then it is not suitable for small programs. So comparison between procedure-oriented programming and object-oriented programming. So the programming approach the object-oriented programming follows is it divides the program into segments called objects, and here it divides the program into segments called functions. Program organization, it uses bottom-up approach, and this procedure-oriented programming uses top-down approach. Data security, so it can secure the data since we are using classes and objects, and the data attributes and methods are kept under one class, and hence we will be achieving encapsulation. We can hide the data, and coming to procedure oriented programming, it does not utilize data hiding. Data hiding is not there since we are sharing the data across various functions. Overloading, so it is possible to overload in object oriented programming, and overloading is not possible in procedure oriented programming. Inheritance, it utilizes inheritance concept is there, and coming to the procedure oriented programming, there is no inheritance. We cannot inherit the properties. Next, data importance. So data is given more importance than a function in object oriented programming, and instead of giving importance to data, the importance is given to functions in procedure oriented programming. And coming to code reusability, code can be easily reused. And coming to procedure-oriented programming, it does not allow code reusability. And abstraction, in object-oriented programming, we use abstraction, and in procedure-oriented programming, the abstraction is used for procedures only. The abstraction is mainly for data in object-oriented programming, and the abstraction is mainly for procedures in procedure-oriented programming. Different languages under procedure-oriented programming and object-oriented programming. Procedure-oriented programming, C, Pascal, Fortran, COBOL, and coming to object-oriented programming, C++, Java, Python, C#, and Ruby. So applications of procedure-oriented programming, mainly procedure-oriented programming are used for system programming like operating system design and utility programs in a computer, embedded systems, scientific and numerical computations, and small utility programs. Object-oriented programming applications, mainly for web applications to have secure applications, mobile applications, enterprise softwares, game development, and real-time systems. That's all. Thank you.